Man, it is a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Yes, it is.
Right here, Elevate Studios on the west side of Los Angeles, in the perfect location for us to be able to harness such harmonious amazingness. This is a vision session, and I want to welcome Miss Shannon Cash.
Mamba mentality, Cash. Get it right. I have several taglines.
Oh, listen, I'm looking forward to hearing them all. So, as you know, vision sessions are about getting into the mind of those that come from many places and that have done many things in many ways. It's really all about the journey, right?
Yes, it is.
You know, where are you in your journey? What is your vision? What is the driving force behind your vision? And it's just a chance to let them know. Welcome.
Well, it's all on my social media channels. Do we want to start there? If you want to tune in real quick.
Oh, what are your social media?
Social media, it's Shannon on Facebook. It's Shannon Cash with a K, but my legal last name is Cash with a C, but Facebook would not let me have it. So you can find me there. My TikTok is Miss Cash Baby, and my Instagram is Miss Cash _ the only one. Yeah. I'm rebuilding my Instagram, so
Listen, rewind that a few different times. If you miss any letters, any underscores, any periods, just press rewind.
Yeah.
Listen, there's no issue with hearing that again over and over and over again. So let's just say I haven't been on your social media, and for whatever reason, I'm not a scroller. I prefer vision sessions over scrolling.
Okay.
What would I find? Like, what would be the first thing what would strike me first?
Well, I don't want to get into the knuckle draggers right now.
Oh, okay. Well, listen.
I am trying to change the way a lot of men think when it comes to business-minded women.
Very nice.
And I'm trying to change their philosophies. I call them knuckle-dragging Neanderthals.
Really?
That's my name for them. And I plan on showing men, we'll call them men, that what we as men and women can do when we collaborate with each other when it comes to business, relationships, friendships, all of that. And how, like, I would like to thank you, first off. You were one of the people that are, that allow me to be me, but you do understand the benefit of having a woman on your team. So just showing the world basically what you could do when men and women actually work together, regardless of the relationship, because everything is about relationship buildings, regardless if it's business or relationships as far as, intimate relationships or friendships in general. God designed us to work together as a team. And I really feel as though a lot of us, men more so, that I feel like, but there are some women out there that just don't want to work with men for obvious reasons, patriarchal society, and I can go on and on about that. But my point is, a lot of us, we're disconnecting, and I don't feel that we are growing as a society because of the disconnect between men and women and what we can do when we actually work together and understand that you move different, I move different, but if we move together differently, we'll be successful.
Well, it's by divine design, though.
Right, the duality. That's why I have the Ankh here, because I try to tell people one of my 10 rules of success is pick up a book and read, please. However, the Ankh is the original cross, basically.
By the way, since we segueing into when you shout out, what do you call that? Plugs.
The plugs.
Listen, if you haven't had a chance to get the Visionary, a collaboration of Visionary Insights, you can get it on Amazon, or you can find it at thevisionarystore.com. Amazon to get it to you a lot easier, so I'd appreciate it. And then once you get it and you enjoy it, if you take a few moments to just leave a review, just so that more people could get access to the information.
Right.
But back to you, Shannon. I just had to plug myself since she plugged herself earlier.
Hey. So the Ankh is the original cross, basically. So the Catholic and all that, they created the two masculines, the swords, but the Ankh is the original. And the Ankh represents masculine and feminine, the duality of, everybody in us has good, evil, masculine, feminine. We all have that. That's the duality of life. So when we all realize that, and
So
we
you
all
feel like so do you feel like I had to stop you right there? Sorry. So you feel like that it's that level of polarity from good to evil has to happen?
I feel as though, well, no. So whatever, I do believe that we all have to have a dark side, because in order to know light, you have to experience darkness. So I feel like we're
For how long before you recognize what darkness is?
whatever God's time is. I mean, some people can get it faster than others. You can't really put a time limit on something like that.
But really, okay, I offer a slightly different perspective.
Okay.
Right? So I feel like by divine design, right, we were supposed to collaborate. We were supposed to come up with things together. So I feel like that we do have the ability to make faster decisions, right? Once we know that we're on that journey, and I call it actually transition time, the time it actually takes you to do what you're supposed to do from the time you know you're supposed to do it, right? And then also being open, purifying, eliminate anything adverse that could be holding you back that could make that decision take a long time. Like, because me personally, I've been faced with multiple opportunities that I manifested or that I conjured up in my dreams.
Right.
And then in facing that moment, the opportunity was there, but for whatever reason, there was blockage, right? And the portal was clear, right? Like, and because whenever it opens, you always have choices. But one of the references I like to make, and I'll let you continue, is let's just say you're having the worst day of your life, right? And you just like boo-hooing, going down the street, oh my God, this is terrible. And you step off the curb and there's a bus coming, right? How long would it take you to step back on the curb, no matter what you was going through, before you stepped off that curb and that bus was coming?
I mean, in an instant, that's fight or flight. So in an instant, obviously, you would.
But is
do
your
that.
success not fight or flight?
It is to a certain extent, but there's
Trained
so many
response.
facets. It's trained response. Like I was just telling you earlier, sharks are born swimming.
Can we train ourselves?
You can, but where does that
So as
training
we-
come from? Where does that training come from? Life experiences.
This is true.
So that darkness that I was referring to, there's no time limit. I strongly feel as though if you have a God-ordained thing that you're supposed to do, and God ordains you to do it, no matter what decisions you make, bad or good, it's going to lead you to that moment. It took me how long? I'm
What
46.
I'm saying is, do you think that there's a faster way to make better decisions
Yes,
sooner?
yes. Training, picking up a book and read. Kobe Bryant has 10 rules of success. I have 10 rules of success. We have the blueprint. It's all there. The Black Panther, like every single person that has been a trailblazer, there's so many books out there. We all have the blueprint. It's there. It's just a matter for us and the matter of timing and our life experiences, wherever that path takes us, that when the time comes, when God says it's your time, it's going to be fight or flight. And I am literally breathing, walking testimony to that right now. Why I'm sitting with you to be on the part of the launch in 80 days for this app where we all meet. How?
No, I mean, but are you a manifestation of my deepest desire? Because I've been purifying, right? So I have a 60-day transformation challenge where it's just really about purifying from the root, right? Getting into your root chakra and really just eliminate anything adverse on the way, right? Because it, creates blockage. So listen.
I agree.
Yeah, so it's actually a true manifestation of in my purest moments, right? And everything that I'm, fighting through, and the people that are rooting, and the people that are not are not. But in that, what I know as a missing piece is someone who understands sales and sales strategy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's something that has been within my wheelhouse. It's just a matter of where is it going to come from, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that we have software for sale. Right? Like we're literally have millions of dollars invested into infrastructure that allows us to sell limitlessly and create sales models, SaaS models, all kinds of strategies to empower people to make more money than they've ever made in their whole lives.
Right.
And just really start to create the catalyst for our next generations of wealth.
See, and this is the thing, and this is what I try to tell everybody. If you look at the ground level of any successful institution, it's sales. And that's why sales is a very lucrative industry. And the beauty of sales in some avenues, some like medical supply, like the medical supply industry, medical sales, pharmaceutical sales, they require you to have bachelors and all these other things. And sales is in you. Like you don't need a degree to be a great salesperson. But I say that to say a lot of industries, they don't require you to have a degree for sales. And a lot of people have become millionaires and billionaires with just their capability to sell. And any successful company out there, the ground level is sales. That's why people pay salespeople so much money, because the world, and it's an industry that cannot be duplicated by AI either.
Yeah, well, yeah, no,
it just can't. It will never. AI can never create another me. This just won't happen. I'm one of one.
No, well, sure. Welcome.
Welcome. Hello. Just saying. Check my stats. Wait a minute. Wait, it's going down. We have to make sure this the light comes back on because it's dimming. So we have to get up to make it move a little. Yeah. Let's see.
Let's set the mood, like whatever.
Where is it coming? Where is it gonna stay? Okay, here we go.
There you go.
You're gonna probably edit that.
We got automation here in the office.
At Elevate Studios?
Yes, right here on the kind of the gateway between LA and Culver City, right when you can see a lot of the architectural improvements that they're putting in position to showcase the architectural prowess, of Los Angeles as we prepare for the Olympics in 2028. So this is the perfect place. It's over 50,000 square feet.
52,000 Swedish.
Apologies.
Yeah.
Of pure bliss in regards to its decadent design and its options for you to allow your creative juices to flow in whatever direction you're feeling in that particular day. But realistically, the whole idea behind even vision sessions, right, is I kind of wanted to get to the point of an in-depth look to like the drive, right, with the end goal, like the vision, like how you see it happening for you. Because I know that it's massive because we're sitting here talking with the opportunity to completely empower incredible, enormous amounts of people as we continue down this journey of figuring out how we're going to strategize to spread solutions globally, ease of use, collaboration, love, positivity, culture. Yeah. Right.
That's actually my 10 rules. Kobe has 10 rules of success. I have 10 rules. I created that, and we'll have those. We'll go over all that before the end of our session here. But my ultimate goal is to help change the world. And the fact that you and I are even connected, because I already had an app in mind I told you about that I was going to start, and we're going to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
But that said, the fact that my name was mentioned to you, shout out to Alex of Pueblo Tequila, how...
Flight of the Aviador.
Right. Getting right. It's a lot of getting it right sessions going on over here.
Del Aviador.
Premium tequila.
Yes.
Anyway.
Craft. Cocktails.
Check our stats.
Yes.
So anywho. So what was I saying? Okay, so collaboration, the power of collaboration, but I literally wanted to do an app that I knew was going to change the game. And the fact that you already 15 years in the making this app, and the fact that my name was being even mentioned in less than a year in the space that I'm in, and just the channels that I've met and all the connections that I've made thus far, it's showing what my whole platform basically is. It's what you could do. I forgot the Kobe Bryant basketball. So mad at myself for that. Sorry, Kobe. But what you could do with God on your side and the Mamba mentality, nothing is impossible. He's my favorite player ever. He's stamped on my arm. It has his logo on it right here, and it has 824, 8 and 24. Obviously, Gigi, may she rest in peace as well. Her number was 2. So it all encompasses. And actually, the guy who did a lot of my tattoos, who did this one, he passed a month, maybe 6 months later. He passed due to COVID because he was doing tattoos during COVID. So a lot of the tattoos on my arm, on my body, are actual they're significant to me more than just the Kobe Bryant, May he rest in peace as well. But I say that
I
to
applaud
say,
your strength, though.
Thank you.
Seriously.
No, I've been through. Thank God I don't look like what I've been through.
All right, listen.
I'm tapped. In case you guys don't know already, I'm tapped. I'm one of God's favorites.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Let's receive.
so and you are too, which we
Appreciate
know.
it.
That's why we're here talking.
Well, listen.
But what I
Angels. Anyway.
yes. So basically, my whole
can't say.
philosophy is, and I've been very open and honest, and that's why I tell people that I'm going to show the world what you could do when you talk too much. Because everybody keeps telling me I talk
I
too
heard that
much.
about you. You know what the
did?
craziest thing about that is? Like,
Yeah.
I heard that about she just be talking. I was like, for real? I was like, what she be talking about?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, that shit crazy. Like, it's actually somebody out here talking.
Yeah.
They act, because a closed mouth from any time I ever run on,
Yeah.
it never got fed, right? You ask and ye shall receive.
Well, I have a philosophy. I have a philosophy. A closed mouth does not get fed, but I would rather ask for forgiveness than permission.
You did.
So I am going, as long as I'm not murdering, stealing, and just doing all that shady stuff. Let me get that out the way.
Immorality.
Right. I operate, and that's one of the 10 rules of success, which we're going to go over. But as long as I'm not hurting anybody, I'm going to talk a lot. Because there's a lot of other people that like visionaries, that like people, and they're going to want to gravitate towards hearing people talk about they want to change the world.
That's
so
what
why
we're
not
doing.
talk? Yeah.
This is what we're doing. So this is what
Yeah.
WAM is all about.
Yeah.
This, exactly what you're talking about, is
Right.
where we all meet, right? It's a place where you can legit be your authentic self.
Right.
Right? If you're a nerd, be a nerd.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you want to wear baggy clothes, wear baggy clothes.
Yeah.
We don't want you to have to do things that are outside of what you truly desire for yourself. Because what that's actually doing is creating a negative energy pool on the universe, because it's pushing you into your direction.
Right.
But something else created outside of your natural being, because now you're not going
Right.
within, you're coming from without,
Right.
which is nothing.
Authenticity.
Authenticity
That's the new sexy. That's why I keep trying to promote it. People,
is everything.
yes, authenticity is, because the right people will gravitate towards you, and the wrong people will leave.
Fast.
That's
And the
very
more
fast.
pure you get,
Yes.
the more pure you are about this,
Yes.
the more impervious you become to adverse energy.
Yeah.
It's so divine, it's so written, it's so important that we follow this. Harness the power of love,
Yeah.
right?
It is the most powerful driving force, is love, self-love.
For sure.
Self-love and love of God. But if you have love of God, you have love of self, because God is within us.
For sure. The root word of educate, right?
Yeah.
Educo, means to draw from within.
Yeah.
Like, so everything that we're doing, we're following the instructions, but we're not following the instructions that the definition says that the word is, right? Like, we're seeing a word that is one thing and we're doing something else.
Yeah.
It was interesting, like, how every letter is a number, every number is a letter, right? And so that means that every word, has a sum, right? And then you can reduce that sum to a single number, right? And if the sum and that single number is the same, then that means even if that word is spelled different, it's the same. Right. So I was kind of doing some research on two super important words.
What are they?
So the first word was soul.
Soul. S-O-U-L.
Soul, which everybody knows is like
soul,
something that's within.
Right.
S-O-U-L. Right. So the total sum of those numbers, I don't have those numbers in here, but the total sum of those numbers was 395. And when you reduce it down, it goes to the number 8.
The number what?
8.
Infinity.
Infinity.
Okay.
Right.
Kobe Bryant's one of his numbers.
So the second word is heaven, which is our whole lives we've been saying that's a place that we go to.
Yeah.
Right. That's a place that you desire to be.
Yeah.
Right. But when you add up the total sum of heaven, it's 395. And you reduce it, it's 8.
Number 8.
So that means that soul and heaven is the same thing, and it's within. And that's a message from God.
Well, whoa.
Like,
So
legit, that's where
I feel
Legit,
as
I didn't come up with
whoa. Let me sit in that one for a second. But I strongly feel as though this whole concept of heaven and hell, it's basically within us.
For sure, it's all created.
We can either live hell on earth, or we can live heaven on earth.
Don't be fooled. The time is now.
Oh my God. Matthew 20.
Hey, no fingerprints on that one. That was the first time we ever did that. I just wanted to see if she was going to be on point.
Sharks are born swimming. I keep telling people I'm a shark. I don't know what.
That was good. I'm just listen.
No, I'm not.
How you
No,
start
it's
is
not
how-
for you.
Hey, how you start is how you finish.
It's not for you. I just get so frustrated with people when they question me, and I keep posting stuff. I keep saying stuff. All these things. I brought pictures of my W-2s so I could show you.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I brought them.
wanna
I
see.
have some. No, I'll get them for you.
I mean, you don't have to do it on camera, but listen.
Yeah, I'm going to
Say,
show
listen.
him my W-2s. I'm going to show him all the money that I did make as a loan officer when I was working at Loan Depot. I was the first black woman to be a trainer there and a manager there. I was the first woman to step in the scene at Loan Depot within a year, become Chairman's Elite. Like, that's unheard of in that industry. Loan Depot is a nationwide company. So for me to come in the first year and be the top 50 out of all the loan officers nationwide,
Hey.
I'm a beast when it comes to sales. Every company that I've worked at, I've been the top 10%. Ask them. Ask them about Shannon Cash. They will tell you. Cardinal Way Hyundai, the first month I got on the floor, I was a top sales rep. I got the freaking trophy. And I've never sold a car a day in my life.
I believe.
Sales is in me. Like, it's like, and coupled with my philosophies on life and Mamba mentality and God and all these different things. And plus, I'm easy to look at. And I have $1 billion smile.
No,
Speak
truth.
Yeah, it's like, now I don't have my daughter. I don't have a lot of the things holding me back and all these different things because my daughter is grown. So you guys, that's why I keep telling women, and I want to keep incorporating this when it comes to women, that we are mothers, we are all these different things, and you have to put your children first. Like, if we're a wife, we have to put our husband first. That's by God's design. So right now, I don't have any of that holding me back. So all the things that I've learned and all the things that I've incorporated, and that comes to the question that you asked me earlier. Yeah, could I have acted on a lot of that stuff back then? Absolutely. But it would have hindered my relationship with my daughter. I couldn't have been there at all of her basketball games. I couldn't have taken her to do this. I couldn't have done this, and I couldn't have done that. So something has got to you have to have sacrifices sometime. And I was the one raising my daughter, so I had her when I was 17, so I could not sacrifice the stuff at the sake of my daughter and making sure that I was there as her mom, and I always say that, I was a wonderful father. I was a horrible mother because I wasn't the most nurturing mother, but I was so focused on making sure that my daughter could have everything that she ever wanted. And ask her, Essence Cash, ask her. She'll tell you financially everything that my daughter ever wanted to do, there wasn't a time that I told her no.
No, it's real. No,
Until she started getting older and I made her start working for it and things like that, and why she's so successful right now. Because you have to teach your kids that everything's not given to you. So I wanted to make sure that, and then that's when she started getting mad at me when I started pulling away. Because as soon as you turn 18, I'm off doing other things.
So this is one of the things that that I identify with and have taken some time and put some energy towards addressing, and it's us utilizing everything that we've gone through and taking it back and catching our youth right around 8 years old. And I actually already created a project for it, and it's the Visionary Protege series. And what it is, I have a junior visionary workbook. The ages 12 through 18 is already done, and it focuses on mindset and entrepreneurship, right? Catching them early. But then I was exposed to a statistic that was alarming, and it was mostly about minority youth and how they start off geniuses, and then when they get into the system and they get into all these different things, they drastically decline. So you have our future genius engineer, neurosurgeon, that turns into, a hood dude or a great rapper. Yeah. Because he's a wordsmith. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So he went from genius to wordsmith. Yeah, he's cool. He may or may not make it because there's a lot of stuff going on where he was over here. So now, I was already in the works, but finalizing the perspective on the 8 through 12, because that's where we got to grab them at that 8-year-old point and start giving them the courage, the curiosity, the confidence, and the camaraderie necessary for them to be successful, right? Because they have to keep pushing, have to seek the answers. And if we do our part to create these programs to really give it to them, right, then that will be the value of everything that you went through and everything that I've gone through and all my sociological, anthropological view about how things happen and how people react to certain stimuli. And the same with you. Like, you're actually, I'm looking forward to watching you scale, quite honestly, because like to have someone with that level of confidence, and we've only done a few things, and I can see really how you pick up the ball, and I appreciate that. The fact that we have the ability to create sales teams across the board for multiple technology projects with no limitation in growth, right? There is no fence, there's no stadium, there's no max, right? Like, if we have a stadium and we're performing, there's 100,000 people that can fit max in a certain amount of places, max, minus the 10,000s, the 2,000s, the 1,000s, the 300s. And that's your max. And how many times can you go?
There's no max here.
There's no max.
It's limitless.
Limitless, truly.
And I do want to say that China, actually, there was something on TikTok that I saw. China actually has schools like that already, which is why their culture, why their country is so innovative, because they start them at a young age. And, as parents, like me, for example, I'll use me, for example, I had my daughter at 17. So I couldn't teach, or I couldn't tap into what maybe my daughter could have possibly been successful at such a young age, because I was so focused on doing X, Y, Z. So a lot of the times it's not the parents' fault. You know what I'm saying? Because they've only been taught a certain way. So,
Well, segue for just 1 second while we come back to the light.
Okay, so I was at...
You're talking about China?
Right, how they're innovative. They're so innovative because they start at such a young age. But I guess my point was, our parents, their parents, they were taught a certain way.
For sure.
So the path that they tried to steer you down, it's not their fault, because they've only known a certain way. But now we're in this atmosphere where in COVID, in my humble opinion, it was a great reset. It really was. And there was so much innovation that came out of COVID that we're now in this time where if they don't give you a seat at your own table, at their table, create your own table. Period.
Yeah, for sure.
People are becoming billionaires off of, not billionaires, but some of them.
Some are becoming billionaires, legit.
Like we will be.
Yeah, legit.
But there's millionaires that were created from just using a cell phone. So what is stopping anybody with goals to become successful? Nothing but you and your work ethic. Period.
Period on that.
So I want to do, who said I talk too much? Who was that, Alex? Did Alex tell you I talk too much?
It wasn't the word too much. It was more like a lot.
I do talk a lot.
Yeah, so.
But that's always been one of my biggest downfalls. I even did it has been one of my biggest downfalls. It really has. Because I didn't know how to channel it. Because there's a lot of things that I don't say to people. And I use it to my advantage. Because people think I talk too much. So they think they know all of my moves. They're never going to know all of my moves. Ever.
I'm just trying to watch it all come to fruition. Like, listen.
Yeah.
Listen, one thing that we can't do, visionaries, around the world is don't block your blessings when they come, right? Because, and it's so interesting, and I've been experiencing this for many years. It's like, when you're not pure, right? If you're only purified to here and you hadn't got to your root chakra, there's going to be things that you're going to forget to ask for because you weren't aware of those things that you actually needed in those moments because you hadn't really purified, right? So along the time, but your desire is so big, so you're getting almost what you're actually getting what you asked for, and it's almost what you want. You just didn't know what you wanted because you didn't take the time to purify. I
think that's also being ego-driven. Right? I think once you've mastered self, you're no longer just ego-driven. It's good to have a certain amount of ego, but you also have to, have the root of your why. Like,
it just doesn't matter so much.
Yeah.
Now I think, so because neutrality, right, is the ultimate goal, right? Because to be unbothered, right, it is what it is, right? To continue along your path, because true mastery, right, says that the law of rhythm exists, right? So what's going to go up is going to come down to the equal amount and come back and swing, right? But true mastery understands this because we know this. So as it comes down and it gets to neutral, that's where you just remain, pause, chilling, just doing what you do, zenning out, being still, right? Where you know it's coming back, and guess what? When it comes back, because you know it's coming back, you just catch it back on the upswing. So you had all the upswing neutrality, all the upswing neutrality, all the upswing neutrality is all good.
Well, see, here's the thing about that. And it's good that that's why business partners and collaboration, that's one of my 10 rules of success, is the power of collaboration. This is where collaboration comes in, because the fact that you're like that, that's going to help me where you may need to say, now, Shannon, because I know our success is combined together no matter what. So your success is my success is your success at this point. So anything that I say to you or you say to me, is for the benefit of the ultimate goal, which is to help change the world and help other people become millionaires and billionaires, right? Sure. So we have that root. However, I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize about it, but, I do have a lot of the same Kobe Bryant philosophies. I am fueled by no. That fuels me, for me to take the anger
that's
I have.
A level of mastery.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I am comfortable with my good and bad sides. I'm comfortable with it all. I have mastered myself. And one of the things that I will help other people do is I'm going to help them master self. Oof. I'm not going to be a life coach. I am a motivational speaker, and I will help you master self. Because a lot of these life coaches they all tell you stuff that's based on their reality. What's happened to them, and then they put their stuff onto you. When you get with somebody who wants you to be the best version of yourself, they're going to figure out how to help you master yourself, because everybody's path to greatness is different. So for me, I'm an alchemist. I am fueled by the word no. I'm fueled by people saying, oh, Shannon's not going to do anything. That fuels me to be successful. I have it on my arm. Pain produces power.
So 50 trillion cells, right? Mm-hmm. All gated circuits. Mm-hmm. That's what makes up you, right? Mm-hmm. With a 0.07 volt per gated cell. So that's 3.5 trillion volts of electricity that's coming out. So that directed in the right direction with that amount of confidence and is unstoppable. So I want to applaud you for figuring out that equation, and hopefully whoever gets a chance to watch this can take note of that. And because with that mindset, you truly do become unstoppable. And then when you start to pair and collaborate with like-minded individuals and form teams and start to empower and create a culture of camaraderie, compassion.
Yeah, you become literally unstoppable, literally.
No, literally.
And it's just that, like, a lot of the things that you're going to be able to teach me. And I keep telling people this, when you have self-mastery, you also know that you know what you don't know. I know what I don't know, right?
Me too.
I know what I don't know.
That's why I'm stagnant. That's why you're here.
Right.
Like, I was able to literally, pull this thing through the sludge, with the whole big poles and everything attached to it. And I'm like, listen, it's only one me. You know what I mean? So, like, that's why this opportunity, I'm so happy to be able to make this opportunity available to us, right? And I appreciate you gathering the individuals on the call today that are looking to grow and scale. They had that feeling of team and camaraderie. Our ability to really understand what this is, and even if we start to formulate these calls so they can understand what this is,
right? And
if they come and they do things, right, that put points on the board, those things are documented things in the actual trajectory of this thing. So what'll happen is that success equals dollars.
Yes.
Right? Those tasks equals shares that my consulting firm will be able to fight for, because these things were done on sweat equity, right? So that's the other side of a lot of times I've been running into this opportunity because not a lot of us understand tech. It took me a long time, from 2012, 13 years, getting my head banged against the wall. I'm not a developer, I'm not a programmer or engineer. I'm a technology liaison. I understand it because I've been in the highest level of meetings and all the way down to what I know is not a high level at all. So it took time.
Yeah.
So when I'm having these conversations with individuals, they're looking at it like a job because all they know.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, this is not a job.
Right.
This is the gateway to potentially billions of dollars for you, especially if you take all the game that's available about finances, game that we never knew, game that we never were taught, just from trust all the way down to life insurance, to infinite banking, to all these different things that we can have. So now we put ourselves in a position to generate capital limitlessly. And then now we have the knowledge to understand banking, to understand finance, to understand real estate development.
20 years in the real estate game.
This is what I'm saying, right? Knowing how to write loans, right? With being with the ultimate connector, I guess, in the fact that we are building software that connects people in a way that improves their lives and their livelihood, right? Not just their lives, but their livelihood. It's we all are going to eat together by providing amazing opportunities to grow and scale brands, businesses, careers. Like, this is the infrastructure that we're putting together, right? And I've been blessed because I keep getting blessed with amazing queens, powerful people that are now, because I literally, like, if I had the ability to stay up and cry, or my version of staying up and crying late at night is on the computer wearing glasses with blue blockers on there when I'd rather be on the beach chilling, right? So that's my up late crying at night to, finally to have, prayers answers as things are starting to come together. So, I guess I'm also in class as well because these things about at least my knowledge, because I really don't want to do everything, but just understanding it and being able to continue is always, of value. But there's no limitation. Oh yeah.
Well, I do want to say you said one word that we're going to take out of the equation, and we're going to take off potentially billionaire.
Well, that's a wrap.
This is a potential. This is no potential. It is going to be billionaire. Okay.
It's really, we could probably wrap it up because I know it's a lot going on, but it's actually a wrap, right? So everything is divinely designed to create the level of philanthropy necessary to be able to just help and create change. And for the record, my life's passion is to end hunger. Not the hunger for food, but the hunger for things. Oh, see, that's also important. So the hunger for things for me, because I'm from the inner city of Los Angeles, the Crenshaw district. And one of the reasons I gravitate towards the hunger of things is because things are the cause of a lot of adverse energy and people going at each other. So my goal is to create the level of philanthropy and infrastructure on the blockchain. As we're in the blockchain space, we have a project called Key 2 built on Solana blockchain. So I'm very familiar with that space. We also have a few other things in the fintech space that I'll disclose at a later date.
Don't tell them everything.
But these things have been put into place for us to be able to provide the infrastructure for a few generations down the line to be able to really feel the benefits and the love that we created by putting things on the blockchain that create wealth that can't be taken away because it's immutable. It's on the blockchain. It's a smart contract. It's a wrap forever. Transparent, ledger, immutable. Yeah.
I mean, just us connecting, Gerald, the Bible, we all know the story about parting the Red Sea. And I think sometimes we have to take our literal thought out of it and realize that a lot of the stuff that I feel is written in the Bible, it's more for us to think a certain way. Like the app, 15 years you guys have been kind of developing and doing all this stuff with the app. And now that it's ready to launch, God is putting people in place for this app to be successful that literally is going to help change the world. Literally, the game's going to change. And for me, I am going to be a billionaire philanthropist by August 24th, 2028. And one of my passions is homeless and people that don't have anything to eat. Okay. I already have a plan for that. Right. Which I'm not going to talk about because, again, you think I talk too much. I only talk just enough. So my point is, all the things that I wanted to do, literally God has put you with me, put us in each other's path to ultimately do what our plan is and our goal is to help change the world.
No, for sure.
And so I only say billionaire philanthropist because people have such a negative connotation about people with money. And that's why I'm showing this daily process so people don't go with that, oh, Illuminati, and she, because my mom passed in October of 2024 and all, the Illuminati, and people say, oh, they got sacrificed and all that other crap that people come up with. I'm showing them literally real time the progress of how I became a billionaire philanthropist. So I'm literally creating a living, breathing book. They could just go through my social media and see the rise
WWAM.
of WWAM. Yeah. Hello. But all those will stay active so they can literally see the progression and the book that I'm literally writing real time so that they know there was a lot of grit, grind, and hustle that took place for me to hit billionaire philanthropist. But I say that to say people have such a negative connotation about people with money. So I'm going to show people. Just people, they always tell the stories. I don't care. The peanut gallery, we know that. But the peanut gallery always has something to say. But you never see people that are in the peanut gallery that have something to say. You never see them at the banks. You never see them at the gym, and you never see them on airplanes. But anyway.
Oh yeah, because you can't see them. Their energy's not right.
Yeah, but my point is, you're going to show because ultimately to change the world, you do need money. You need money and you need influence. So we're going to show, because you're going to be a billionaire, you have and he actually has a date, 2028. Yours is what, June what?
Just opening ceremonies.
Opening ceremonies.
Olympics. Join me, on the quest, right? All we got to do is IPO 3 or 4 times. Just came over. So we have everything in place. So
what's your date, though?
Sales, market, I don't know, whatever date that is.
Well, you have to come up with a specific date. My date's August 24th, 2028.
It's actually written. I just, my thoughts are so progressive. It's like, it's probably going to happen before that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Realistically, because you got to buy tickets. You got to make sure you got a hotel. So you got to, have already cashed out. There might be some due diligence or, it could be cash cowed. I don't know. But there's so many different, ways, and I'm quite diversified. I was a recession kid. So, part of me being well enough ahead to really be able to do anything that I wanted on any given day, and then to be in a situation where that's not a possibility and it wasn't my fault, it's something that's like, oh shit, it wasn't my fault. Like I literally didn't do it. Like I spent a bunch of money on a bunch of stuff that maybe I shouldn't have, but I didn't knock myself out the game. Yeah. Everything I purchased, I still had legs, I still had wind, I still had businesses. All I was doing is improving how I felt on my way.
Yeah. No, but those are all the learning lessons that you had to learn to get you to where you're at right now, where God's literally diversification, right? Where God is literally parting the Red Sea for you and his plan for you, his plan for me, and all these other things. And we are going to collectively show the world what you can do with money when it was given and ordained by God to do right by that money.
Hey, real talk.
That's
we're going to have to wind this down because it's getting it's just way too much game official, and I'm probably gonna edit a bunch of this out into the movie. But real talk is you just gonna know that it happened today. You know what I'm saying? Once you see it in the excerpts of the movie.
We'll do another one where I'll do the 10 rules of success.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because you probably gave 100 in this in this thing. But look, this is a vision session. This is what this is about: getting to the nitty gritty of your passions, about your visions, your missions, your purpose, your why. Tune in, Gerald Lacey II, hashtag the visionary collaboration of visionary insights. Success is our only option. Miss Shannon Cash. Oh, wait, tell me, correct me.
Mamba mentality, Cash. What's
Yes,
up?
yes. If you do it once, you should do it twice. You should do it 3 times if you're listening right.
Bars. That's funny. That's good. I didn't know. I can't. You said that so smooth. I'm not going to be able to copy that one.